So let's continue our possible projections. We know that the global shadow economy, for example, has a size of around $15 trillion. This is 2012. If we assume that the volume of Bitcoin today would rise to something equal to that of the shadow economy, so basically the black market would become a Bitcoin-based or a cryptocurrency-based black market. And if I assume then that the Bitcoin price would rise equally so, which we can talk about whether that's a good idea, then Bitcoin prices would rise to around $160,000 for a Bitcoin. Should Bitcoin actually become the new gold? People talk about Bitcoin like gold 2.0, the new gold. They actually use that phrase quite loosely these days. If this really is the case, we know that there's around 155,000 tons of above ground gold. These are the most conservative estimates I could find, the James Turk estimates. And multiply that with the gold price. Total valuation is around $7.2 trillion. So if Bitcoin really does become the new gold, one Bitcoin should be worth around $340,000. I mean, imagine the implication. You own 3 Bitcoins today, and that makes you a millionaire tomorrow. You own 3,000 Bitcoins and you're on your way to become a billionaire. I mean, so you can see the kind of risk-reward ratio we are talking about. And then finally, I mean, you know, Bitcoin is the new gold, the black market is using Bitcoin. Why wouldn't Bitcoin become the new world reserve currency? And then based on, again, the most conservative numbers I could find, what I come up with is a Bitcoin price a little over $500,000 for one Bitcoin. So very exciting indeed. Again, that's why I think the risk-reward ratio of Bitcoin is extraordinary. Everybody should own just a few Bitcoins, even if it's just a tiny percentage of what you own. My subscribers, the ones that invested just 1% of their assets in Bitcoin, they're now between 20–25% in Bitcoin with hardly any risk. So because I advise them to actually sell off what they put in, making the risk, turning the risk into zero. So that's talking about Bitcoin alone. I just want to mention that cryptocurrency, this technology we are talking about, is more than just Bitcoin alone. There is still 10 million Bitcoins that are unmined. They have a value today of more than $1 billion. If the Bitcoin price keeps rising, this will become a multi-billion dollar industry. So to look at Bitcoin mining, I think, is not only interesting, but can be very profitable. Of course, you have to be careful about which decisions you make. There is Bitcoin-denominated stock markets. This is still very early stage. However, there's a few companies that have market caps of over $20 million today. And they've grown from very, very small sizes. It's incredibly exciting, these Bitcoin-denominated stock markets, because you get paid, for example, you get paid dividends in Bitcoin. Isn't that nice? You know, and some of the stocks I own, they have dividend yields of 20–30% annualized. So I don't mind about that. That's very promising, I think, in the future. Also, bond markets, these are really embryonal. It's very, very early on because the Bitcoin price is rising fast, and also because globally interest rates are very low. I think this will change. Interest rates are just too low. This will change. And once credit markets globally start drying up, I think there will be a flourishing Bitcoin bond market. So we can look into that. And then finally, there's the alternative cryptocurrencies, Litecoin, Namecoin, Teracoin, those currencies. They're still very small today, but maybe tomorrow there'll be some brilliant developers that start really building upon them. And in the long run, I really think that the market share of these currencies can grow. Now, I think we're looking at between 3 and 5% compared to Bitcoin. I think over time, this might rise to maybe 10%. Why? Because we have network effects in Bitcoin, making it that makes it logical that it should be the most dominant one in the future.